News. In a stunning overnight operation, U.S. Special Forces have captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro alive. According to Pentagon sources, a covert team of Navy SEALs stormed a secure compound in Caracas under the cover of darkness. Within minutes, Maduro was taken into custody and flown to an undisclosed location. This is the most daring U.S. raid in Latin America in decades. Witnesses reported explosions, helicopters circling the capital, and gunfire near Maduro's residence before the official announcement broke worldwide. President Trump is expected to address the nation within hours, calling the operation a turning point in Washington's campaign against drug cartels and authoritarian regimes in the hemisphere.
Well, this is right there. Alert, U.S. forces are deploying around Venezuela in preparation for a massive invasion that will take Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, and arrest or kill dictator Maduro for his crimes against America. Anyway, he's already been arrested. Alert, U.S. Special Forces are now deployed and operating in Venezuela in preparation for the invasion.
They said that the dinar was to be 608. Iraq was on their TV. I haven't heard from any of my contacts that it was actually on TV. Lots of rumors running in that price range. Let's see. Are you in the internet group or one of the other? Both. Texas artist, both. I guess that is, let's see. Wait. Slow it down. I said that the dinar was at 481 on the backside of the Forex. What does that mean? Rick, they have seen some rates bouncing. It shows as a hold. That is one of the rates that they have seen over the last couple of days. Every so often, they see fluctuating rates. They're not allowed to trade them, but between that price figure, her 481, and somebody mentioning 608 or something like that, that's kind of the range it's been fluctuating behind, is what I am being told by folks that work in the industry. Of course, they're not allowed to trade it yet, so could mean a lot, could mean nothing. To me, I believe that they are testing rates and its impact on other currencies. No news on the Pango. Have not seen any rates, or they have not informed me of any rates on any of the others. Every time they inform me on the Indonesian rupiah, though, guys, whether it's going to be that or not, I don't know, but it constantly shows 147. The dong fluctuates within 20, 30 cents mostly, and dinar fluctuates like $1 or $2. My gut is going to be somewhere in the high fours. That's where my gut is, D. Rogers. It started with a conversation with a group leader attached to arguably the biggest group of currency holders out there. And the comment was, well, the frustration or irritation that they were feeling because they can't send updates. They can't send updates because every time they send an update, everybody leaks it all over the internet, and then it causes issues in timing. So I talked to one group leader, and then I was like, out of curiosity, I checked on another. They had the same frustrations, that they cannot give you guys or us updates because we can't be trusted to keep our mouths shut. They'll be like, hey, you'll lose your spot in this group. Hey, you'll lose any preferential rate if you talk, but they can't. And because the leaks show up from so many places, it's frustrating because there is some paperwork that they would love to have current and ready to go, but they can't ask for it because they can't trust everybody to be quiet in those groups. And I thought that was interesting because a number of you folks have been frustrated lately because you can't get an update. You're like, oh my God, the news sounds so good, but I can't get an update. And then just having that conversation with the one yesterday and saying, and them explaining how irritated and frustrating it was because they're saying certain things amongst the group. One, they would just like to reassure people that they're in a good spot. Hey, this is the process. This is where we're at. They'd love to be able to do that, but they can't because everybody is so at the edge of their seat. They want to be the first person to share the news, and they just go blabbing it. So they have been forced, out of an abundance of caution, to simply not give an update. And, I was like, it makes sense. And honestly, it made me feel better because I was like, man, the groups just aren't saying anything. And now I understand why they're not saying anything, because they can't, because nobody can be trusted to keep their lips shut.
So this was forwarded from Graham Hodgson. Watch Muslim Socialist New York City mayoral candidate ZOHRAN MAMDANI get booed out of a restaurant in Staten Island. There's the communist. You are not welcome, you Jew-hating piece of shit. You hate this country.
Communist! Sorry, I want something to eat. I would like something to eat. Let me tell you something, man. You are not welcome in this island. October 7th, you hate us. You hate piece. Hey, Mr. Mamdani, can I talk to you? This is my island. You're not welcome here. Excuse me. You hate Jews. You hate this country. You hate this. Big shot for the Tom Holders. Don't put it on home.
There were a war in this country. We'd be the first one there. So all I'm saying is, Mr. Donald Trump, please intervene.
What would you want Trump to do?
I want him to buy England like he wanted to buy Canada and make us a state that we're proud of.
You want to be part of the United States?
Yes!
After this gentleman leaving the ball in Donald Trump's court, it was now time for the march to begin.
Well, I think I shared last week that our bank had cleared the last hurdles in terms of building all the different modules that needed to be in place for a user-friendly service that was deployable across the internet and other satellite means. So that's all to the good. This week, there's been a lot of activity trying to figure out such niceties as how can we exchange the Zim bonds for people, and how much is a reasonable amount to charge for that service. It will be considerably less charge than the scalpers are proposing. And so we've been working to set up for being able to exchange Zim bonds for our ASNs and state citizens that are holding these currencies. So we'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to do the Iraqi dinar and other forms of foreign currency. Of course, it's easier to do that when you already have an exchange rate with those currencies, which we do. We can update to Vietnamese dong, or we can update to Iraqi dinar, and those are currency for currency sort of numbers. The problem with Zim bonds is that they're bonds, and they're gold bonds. So they have to be exchanged through the International Trade Bank side, and there's more calculations involved than just an exchange rate. But the guys are working on it, and they're going to be ready to go. They're going to be open for that kind of business and exchanges at the same time that the other, centers, redemption centers and whatnot are opening up and taking claims at the lowest level of the reset exchange program. So that part is all going smoothly enough. Our Harmony coins are set and greased to go. I did not have a chance to ask Hunter about doing the vendor-to-vendor sort of transactions within the membership itself, but that was something that we were able to do early on, and that is something that I think we can do even right now that would help kind of hurry the whole process along. So I'm hoping that this week we'll be able to open up at least some of the control and access tools that we have, so that would allow people to buy from our vendors and would allow our vendors to trade among themselves, which in theory should be perfectly fine, because even without connecting to the rest of the world grid, we can do transactions within our own system.
For these thieves, watch IDF soldiers caught. What the hell does IDF stand for? Anyway, watch IDF must be Israeli Defense Force. I see. That just came in my head. So IDF soldiers caught looting cash from Ramallah exchange. Video footage shows Israeli troops systematically emptying money from Palestinian exchanges, a recurring practice over past 2 years, justified as confiscating terror funds. Good English. There goes. Get ready. Start your engines.
The emissions of greenhouse gases.
Me driving home, knowing there won't be a second day, but at least now she knows who really owns the banks, the media, the big pharma, etc. Majid posted on X, 12:46 p.m, 8:28:25. It's posted ICOSTAT on X, calm before the storm, and then no frauds. Majid, I want to mention something about the 100k V&D being distributed to each citizen there. The date is significant as well as the reason. It must all be completed by 8th or 29th of August. Their leadership wants to be sure no citizen has a zero balance. If anyone did, they would be screwed.
Alert, IQDRV. President Rashid, PUK leaders meet. Countdown to RV. Salary funds land after meeting. Clearing path for revaluation. Sulaymaniyah, August 27, 2025. President of the Republic, Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid, met in Sulaymaniyah with Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, PUK, President Bafel Jalal Talabani, joined by senior PUK leaders Kubad Talabani and Darbaz Khosrat Rasool. The discussions focused on recent political and security developments in Iraq and the broader region. They agreed on the urgency of resolving the salary crisis in the Kurdistan region and emphasized the need to remove all obstacles delaying payments to public sector employees. They also reaffirmed the importance of fully implementing agreements reached between Baghdad and Erbil. Posted by SWISHER 1776 on X.
Bruce says many sources say between tomorrow and the 3rd, and another we should be notified by 8/31/2025. Labor Day is 9/1/2025. Intel is all over the place. And another source says not yet. Bruce says some say tomorrow to Wednesday or by the end of the month, and another says not yet. Something to do with lines of credit with Fed reserved being rolled into the Treasury and into the IRS. Trey Gowdy will be head of the External Revenue Service, revenue coming in from other countries by billions to the USA. Before we had the IRS, we had plenty of tariff money coming into the country, but deep state bankers took us down the wrong road. But when the USN comes out and the beginnings of Nasara come in, that is coming. The USN is being traded, not seen, but is on the back. IQD is on back screens as well as the dong at the banks. Where Bruce thinks we are at a bit of an impasse, coming soon, between tomorrow and Wednesday, and then others say we need lines of credit established with the new Federal Reserve. President Trump has fired the director of the Federal Reserve. When the country is dealing with things that pay through the U.S. Treasury and aspects of the new Fed, but hopefully, with Scott Bessent and Trey Gowdy in there, and they have both oars in the water, others are helping to move it forward. Can they make this work more quickly for us, move it along? We have waited a long time. President Trump cannot get in the middle of this, even though he is calling the shots. The new fiscal year for the USA starts October 1, only one more month for the few fiscal year. By the end of September, paper checks have to stop from the U.S. Treasury. Some people still get paper checks, and by the last day of September, that will stop. Direct deposits and digital will replace it. All is happening in month of September to get ready for a new fiscal year with a new QFS system. Doge payments are to start first week of September. Increase in Social Security should start 9/3/2025. Timing. It has dragged on. There are things that had to happen. It could not happen under Obama, Biden, but it can happen under Trump's second term. Bruce says no 800 numbers tonight, maybe nothing till first week of September. We are getting info not on the same page. transcribed by Carpathia, admin for the Chosen Ones on Telegram at 28th August 2025.
TNT Tony is saying he is hearing, as of moments ago, that this is to be a Labor Day weekend gift. He says Trump has received the payment he requested and which was agreed to, and U.S. troops will be withdrawn from the country as of tomorrow. At midnight, they will be a completely sovereign country, making their own decisions. He expects notifications at any moment up until Friday. Forwarded from Ginger Doucet.
Alert. IQD RV revenue requirements met. 120 billion dinars delivered to Baghdad. A source from the Ministry of Finance reported that the requirements for transferring 120 billion dinars of non-oil revenue have been fully met, and today it has been transferred to the Federal Ministry of Finance's account. Source: Ruda on X. A source from the Ministry of Finance reported that the requirement for transferring 120 billion dinars of non-oil revenue have been fully met, and today it has been transferred to the Federal Ministry of Finance's account. Posted by SWISHER 1776 on X.
Alert. It's happening. Bank screens show RV rates live. IQD $8.73, VND $5.12. Tier 4B payouts imminent. Global reset underway. 12 to 24 hours to completion. Posted by DINARES Gurus at 10:28 a.m., 27th August 2025. Dinar Gurus on X. Do not share. Alert. We've addressed this profile several times already, but it bears repeating. The account circulating under this name is sharing outdated and misleading information. Please do not forward or repost anything from this source. Any content from this account will be removed from A to Z immediately. Most of their posts are at least a week old, giving illusions of credibility to those only paying attention. But when you take the time to truly verify, as our channel does daily, it becomes clear that this is not a reliable source and it should be blocked. Stay sharp, protect the integrity of our updates, only share information that has been vetted and confirmed through trusted channels. If you're truly in the know, you already understand why this source should not be circulated. Let's keep our community focused, factual, and free of unnecessary noise. Posted by A2Z DREAMZ channel. White House, Trump ready to fight Maduro narco cartel. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said President Trump is prepared to use any element of American power to stop drugs entering the U.S. when asked about possible strikes on Venezuelan military sites. Leavitt called Nicolas Maduro's government a narco-terror cartel, accusing him of trafficking drugs into the U.S. and stressed the administration's duty to protect Americans from deadly poisons. Forwarded from Market Newsfeed.
Zimbabwe sees significant inflation slowdown as currency reforms take hold. The deceleration in price growth in August reinforces the statements of the Zimbabwean government that the recent currency reforms are beginning to stabilize the economy, state media reported. The local ZiG currency's month-on-month inflation rate dramatically eased to 0.4% in August, down from 1.6% in July, according to the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency. Food prices in ZiG even stepped into negative territory. Similarly, the U.S. dollar-based Consumer Price Index, which covers a substantial portion of urban spending, recorded 0.0% inflation month-on-month, offering relief to those earning in dollars. Officials and economists attribute this slowdown to tighter monetary discipline, structural reforms by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe to bolster the ZiG, and improved local supply chains, especially in agriculture. While the ZiG's annual inflation remains high at 93.8%, a figure officials attribute partly to statistical overhang from past instability, the overall weighted annual inflation, which combines ZiG and USD, stood at a more manageable 27.6%. Analysts suggest that if the current positive trend continues, Zimbabwe could achieve its most stable inflation profile in over a decade by 2026. Posted by Sputnik Africa on Telegram.
Breaking, the Federal Reserve announces its board members are selling all mortgages in their portfolios to avoid any appearance of impropriety. Remember Jerome Powell attending Jeff Bezos' party on January 2020? Financialot on X comments, "When Congress is forced to sell, you know it's over." Posted by Financialot on X at 10:28 a.m., 26 August 2025.
Iraq has until Sunday to get everything done. Newsflash, they already have behind the scenes. Iraq is already starting to spend money on salaries and electricity, and their ATM machines are now connected to the electronic payment system, known as ISO 20022, with Maduro optically being arrested by our military in Venezuela. That bodes well for the Bolivar currency. Israel is preparing to bomb Iran one more time for the final surrender and set-off of the Middle East. President Trump's visit with the King of Jordan was hugely significant for getting the dinar across the finish line, both the Iraqi and Jordanian dinar as well. We're really moving now. Posted by John Dowling.
And then also forwarded from Graham Hodgson. President Donald Trump signed the US into the gold asset-backed currencies of the BRICS Alliance Quantum Financial System, QFS, allowing the fiat to US federal dollar to officially die. When the QFS becomes active, which was expected to happen at any time soon. You know, I like this guy, Graham Hodgson. Some of you may have seen, I've posted some things from him. But I don't get him. Now, I follow him on his Telegram channel, but we've always been told that the QFS, you can only register your QFS when you go to the redemption center for your appointment. But he's actually showing people that you can come to my channel, blah, 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 and I can help you set up your QFS account. Really? I don't agree with that. Why is he posting that on his channel?
Breaking, DOGE just exposed the Treasury Department for losing track of $4.7 trillion. Do you support a full investigation? Forwarded from America First League.
Don't lose the spark that makes you, you. Dandelions don't wait for the perfect soil. They take root where the wind lands them. They grow anyway. They shine anyway. Be like a dandelion, resilient, wild, and unstoppable. Be the reason someone smiles today. See that pink heart there? Boom, 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 boom. Sending you all the love. And nothing triggers people like the truth. Not sure who needs to hear this, but you should probably start singing, dancing, painting, drawing, writing again. Plus, it helps raise your frequency. I am a multi-trillionaire. I claim it. I repeat again. I am a multi-trillionaire. A billionaire. Yeah, billionaire is nice, but I am a multi-trillionaire. Words of power. A woman's highest calling is to lead a man to his soul so as to unite him with Source. A man's highest calling is to protect woman so she is free to walk the earth unharmed. And this is a Cherokee proverb.
Felt the pressure of the outside. Come to me. Let me help you be free.